They always lead with the big three monsters: Dracula, Frankenstein, and older woman.
It's the Stand-Up Teardown, conducting comedy autopsies. The Stand-Up Teardown now.
Hello, all you crazy cats and kittens out there in pod person land. Welcome back to another episode of Stand-Up Teardown. I'm your host, Sean Fau, and joining me as always is my lovely co-host, Matthew Ballek.
Raise the roof.
Yeah.
I like how you choked on the word lovely. Thank you for that.
I tried to be clever, and then I just ran through like the 20 other openings I've done, and I just fell back on my fucking, what do you call that? Repetition, or I
don't know.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good one
Matt?
today. It's going to be a good one today, guys.
All right.
It's going to be so good. Because I got 3 comics that we're going to be checking out and watching today.
You don't say.
I do say. It's, I thought I'd surprise you this week.
Right. Something different. I like it.
Thank you. And coming up is someone that's a stand-up comic legend. This would be Dana Gould. Are you familiar with this name, this comic?
Oh, he's somewhat comedy royalty, but like also kind of like comedian. Like he's a Simpsons guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a Simpsons writer, and in coming up with a bio for a website, doing some research, also the voice of the character Gex in the video game series of the same name.
Fuck. Jesus.
And that was on his Wikipedia, like listed above Simpsons writer. So I feel like
for those of you under 40, Gex is was on TurboGrafx 16, I believe, which was a system that was fucking between Super Nintendo and PlayStation, somewhere around there.
Somewhere on there. It was around the times of the NES versus Sega Genesis. When
it was a little bit after that, though. I think it was more competing with Super Nintendo and I think Genesis was competing more with Super Nintendo. No, that one it was kind of in that. Yeah. Either way, it's a really old video game on a really old video game system that none of you have ever heard of. But this is he apparently was the voice of, I don't even remember Gex, wasn't he just like grunting and shit?
Yeah, it wasn't even on a system that was like CD-ROM based, I don't think. So I don't know how they
no, TurboGrafx 16 definitely was.
Okay, it wasn't one of those rich kids.
Oh, wait, no, maybe it wasn't. Maybe that was the cartridge one. Yeah, no, I didn't have it either. That was, definitely for the fucking rich people. But enough fucking was a video game bullshit.
Yeah,
let's actually take a look at what this guy does.
Latest special, Perfectly Normal.
Okay.
Release the comedian.
That's kind of cool.
It's a nice touch.
To go through the trouble to throw random CGI like that. It's nothing you can't do in fucking Da Vinci for, in 10 seconds, but it's a nice touch.
Hello! Thank you very much! Welcome to Dynasty Typewriter's coveted Monday night at 10 spot. When the Mid-Wilshire comes out to play.
Local LA jokes.
I was going to say, over my head, but they're getting it.
I live in LA and I only know Dynasty Typewriter because Harmontown did a few shows there. But
okay.
I didn't go. I just listened. But, that's, my reference.
We have a lovely stage set here. We have Liberace's Storm Shutters.
That was like a Carson joke.
It really was. It almost did it in a
Carson delivery.
cadence. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The Liberace's a storm shutters.
Yeah. Also, the suit with the tennis shoes. That's a bold approach.
Definitely. I would say it's like, it is. Like, how much is Paul F. Tompkins influenced by Dana Gould? Because he's got like, they have a similar like actual voice, I feel like, on stage. And he's got a vest too. So.
I mean, good point. Yeah.
PFT
but
is
like
a snazzy dresser.
I just feel like Dana Gould is, either indirectly or subconsciously influenced, like, the last 3 generations of comedians. He's not necessarily a household name, but he's kind of been on the writing staff of, so many things that everyone has seen and heard, like just being a part of the creation of a lot of the classic Simpsons is, a generational touchstone for people around our cohort. So I think there is a, again, he's not like a Dave Chappelle or something where people like the average person knows his name, but he is, he's not even he's more of a writer, but in writing circles, he's, certainly one of the top comic writers to come in.
Yeah, always highly regarded when he's like brought up or mentioned on podcasts. So
yeah, he was on Corolla Show a lot too, so that's a lot where I'm familiar with just him as a person. One thing that always stood out to me, like his wife is was some huge bigwig at HBO, so like he always had like really weird connections and apparently a lot more money than he should.
One got the mud flaps from Timothy Chalamet's Cybertruck.
You're still in a person.
This neighborhood is called the Mid-Wilshire in Los Angeles. When I first moved here, I used to live right down the street. And I moved here from Massachusetts. And people would always ask my relatives, do you miss the seasons? And, well, it depends. I love fall in Massachusetts. But winter, like, I love winter. That's why I live in Los Angeles. I love winter up until about January 1st. Then I'm done. And if you live in Massachusetts, after January 1st, all you have left to deal with is 4 more months of shit. It's too cold to do anything. It gets dark at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The world is just dead trees and dirty snow. Owls in the woods. Why? Why?
That's a great little turn there, a little unexpected thing. I was going to say that this is very reminiscent, or not reminiscent, it's just a legacy of an older style of stand-up comedian that like it's not storytelling, but it's not joke after joke, but it's a confident sort of observational performance that is almost more of a rant than anything. Like it's that like 90s oh my god, who was the fucking the dude that used to scream and fucking do the finger thing? I want to say Jack Black, but that's not him. Fucking
Sam Kinison?
No, later than that.
Scream, but yeah.
Jesus Christ. Anyone watching at home is calling me an asshole and fucking just screaming at the television. Fucking Lewis Black, not Jack Black. There we go. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. But yeah, just that angry sort of rant.
Yeah, I can hear that and see it for sure.
Yeah, I didn't really have any.
Everybody's depressed. Suicide hotline, I want to kill myself. I called you. It's just so cold. Halloween in New England is awful because it's already so cold. Half the time you put on your costume and then you'd have to put your parka on over your costume and just go around the neighborhood flashing your neighbors. And like, I'm not pilot. Give me his hack nut. Jesus Christ. Who are you? I'm C-3PO. Take my word for it. Just give me the Reese cup. I get pneumonia, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, I mean, he's not gut busting, but it's just fucking, it's solid. Like, it's well crafted. It's fucking well performed. He's, got a million hours of stage time. Like, there, he's, pretty unflappable. Like, I don't know that he's just gonna deliver what he's gonna deliver there, and it's again, it's amusing. Nothing's gut busting yet, but it is just solid workman fucking performance so far.
Yeah, it's very like relatable. This is just the part where he's just getting the audience like nodding in agreement more than laughing, and then once he sort of has them comfortable, kicks up the LPMs. I don't know.
Yeah, but we'll see about that. But it works on such a broad level. It's not obviously the local LA stuff was a little niche, but he at least explained that stuff. But like the sort of the acting out of what every kid had. Well, I guess maybe just because I grew up in the Midwest, I fucking identify with that more. Maybe someone that grew up in California has no idea what the fuck he's talking about. Right? Maybe
No, it
I'm
makes
wrong.
total sense. But yeah, then the line about like having to flash your your neighbors that's just a fun visual.
Yeah,
Like I never thought of it that way, but it's basically what you have to do in the Midwest when it's like 30 degrees in Halloween.
Maybe it's just because we've mentioned it so much, but I clearly see that as being a Simpsons gag. Like that is, I can see either Homer or Bart just walking up and flashing the fucking neighbors. It's,
or an owl saying why. It's like a perfect like visual Simpsons thing. Like, oh, you expect it to say another question that owls always say. So
right. Yeah. Just a great little turn of phrase with an unexpected outcome there. But
and then I moved to Los Angeles, where Halloween starts in the middle of August. It's 150 degrees. I took my kids to the pumpkin patch. It was just pies. They start the season really early because it makes a lot of money. So they get in there. And when you go into like CVS or Walgreens, when they start to decorate for Halloween, they always lead with the big three monsters: Dracula, Frankenstein, and older woman. She doesn't even have to be in a witch's hat. It doesn't need it. Older woman. Can your heart stand the shocking facts of what time and gravity do to the female face? And the horror you'll feel when they leave the house. The big three: Dracula, Frankenstein, and Nana. And I love horror movies. That's where I grew up on. Do you love horror movies?
No, not really.
You have a favorite horror movie?
No.
Get Out? I like Pretty Woman. You thought I said horror.
That's a great joke right there. Oh man, nice little turns he's got there. Mm-hmm. That's like the joke works on its own, but then that little turn of attack just brings it to the next level. That's great.
Understandable. No, I like it. Have you ever seen Blackula? Blackula is fantastic. 1972, William Marshall plays Blackula. The first scene in Blackula, Dracula bites a black guy. This is easily anticipated if you know the name of the movie you're watching. And then Dracula goes, "I christen you Blackula." And they cut. And I wish they would just hold it for 5 more seconds. So you can hear Blackula go, "Ha ha ha! What the fuck did you say my name was?"
Oh man, there's like I don't know that those jokes necessarily work on paper or would work with most other comedians' delivery. Like, and it's not like we've kind of come across this term or come up with this term of like the charisma comedian, and like that's not what he's doing here. But even with the sort of well phrased, well written jokes that he's got here, I don't think they would work without his performance with them. Like there's just this weird marriage of it that like his act outs are like just enough to get the point across, but not enough to be like crazy or, unbelievable sort of. Like there's a realism to the believability of his storytelling that is sort of, engaging, I guess. That's kind of where you want to laugh with him. Like that.
Yeah. And he exudes a level of confidence and skill just from his maybe now decades of doing stand-up comedy and writing. So
our entire lifetimes.
He's got that Allstate vibe where you just, you're in good hands.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. As much as I hate to give them a plug.
Watch Dracula backpedal. Look, as the king of vampires, I come from a position of privilege that I clearly didn't take into consideration when I made that joke, which is not indicative of my feelings in any way. I won't even eat Count Chocula. Like, I'm committed. I want you to know my truth. That's what this is about. And then all the bros with podcasts will drag Dracula for backpedaling to Blackula. Got to double down on that all the time. You got to just double down. That's the problem. There's no real men anymore. But for all you real men listening, here's a commercial for a pill that will give you a boner.
Oh man, that's living the dream. I wish we had boner pills to hawk to you guys. But the best we can do is beg for likes and subscribes. But that's whatever.
All the podcasts dedicated to the resurgence of the alpha male are paid for by pills that give you a boner.
It's accurate.
I still get my own boners. Like some kind of pussy.
Again, perfect little twisty tag at the end. Like nothing too out of left field, nothing too crazy, but enough to be like that little sense of misdirection and a nice payoff there.
I like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's a great horror movie. Yeah. Great title. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Then again, after Texas Chainsaw kind of writes itself. Texas Chainsaw Bake Off is not going anywhere. Texas is just one of those states. You put it in front of some, like Tennessee. You put Tennessee in front of any activity, and it becomes a sex move. Went home late last night, woke up the wife, tried a Tennessee car wash. How'd that go? Well, I'm staying with my brother for a couple of days. I think she'll calm down. Should have warned her.
What the fuck is a Tennessee car wash? I assume it involves water play. Never mind. We won't go down that rabbit hole.
Speaking of sex moves, I got
That's the whirling dervish.
married about a year and a half ago. Thank you. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, thank you very much. It was my second marriage.
Yeah, I guess he's not with the HBO lady anymore.
My second marriage. Been married before. And I thought marriage is such a sacred, holy, once-in-a-lifetime thing Let's do it again. But even though it was my second marriage, it was my wife's first. So you still got to go all in. You know, you can't cheap out. You can't do the Forrest Gump, 6 people in the backyard. You're spending money. You're spending money. But even though it's her first time and it's a big deal, you've done it. It is the second time on the roller coaster. It's like, are you scared? No, it goes up and down and around and dancing and cake. It's fine. It's not a big deal. That's what they do. We're gathered together before God. No, I know. Yeah, it's very good. Yeah. With the ring and the cake and the yeah. Till death do you part. Sure thing, boss. Whatever you say. Whatever makes you happy, boss. That's what they say. Till death do you part. That's just God's way of saying, I can get you out of this. It's a little extreme. The way I see it, I didn't get divorced. I cheated death.
Yeah, I can fucking just watch this probably all day, but we should probably move on. But yeah, that's
It's
just
good.
some solid
like
craftsmanship there.
Yeah.
What do we got up next?
We got now we're into the zone of comics that I do not know or have not heard about before. This next comedian is named John Hastings. This is a Canadian stand-up comedian.
Canadian median?
Canadian median.
Canadian median, yeah.
So yeah, he's done, been in plenty of festivals. Just for Laughs Montreal, featured on BBC Radio 4, BBC 1, BBC 3.
I totally remember him from BBC 3. That's
Yeah, I could see you as a BBC 3 guy.
Totally, yeah.
But this is part of a series of stand-up specials.
Is 3 the one with the naked chicks?
I think that's Police Academy. You're getting there.
What is so close?
Mixed up, yeah. But this is part of I don't know if you call it a stunt, but John Hastings has put out 8 specials in 10 months.
Jesus.
And this is the 8th of them.
Okay.
So we're getting like whatever.
Are we scraping the barrel, or is this the best of the best?
I guess we'll find out. But this is the special comedian, John.
I heard you correctly. You said 8 specials in 10 months.
Yes.
Jesus fuck. Okay. Well, let's see what he fucking did. Oh, wrong button. Jesus Christ. I can't do anything right. Oh my God. There we go.
Please welcome to the stage the one, the only, John Hastings!
Boston?
All right,
I'm loving their voice though, right?
Lincoln Fields on a Friday. Let's get the fuck out of here. Go to the Wendy's that used to have a salad bar.
No,
Oh
not
my
Boston.
goodness. It's very nice to be home. This is my hometown. Thank you so much for selling us out. First night we're taping. I mean, it's so wonderful to be home. Thank you very much, Jen Zeds, for crossing your arms. That's welcoming an elder millennial. Ugh.
God, the arm crossing thing again. I don't want to go off on that whole rant again, but fucking that just do your fucking job, bitch.
What,
Like,
just mentioning the audience having their arms crossed, or do you have a thing against crossing arms in general?
no, I have a thing against comedians that think it's a thing that audiences crossing their arms are being assholes. Like, sometimes you're just fucking comfortable. it's
But they
not-
just don't want to be like called upon, and then they just
well,
got the
that's
opposite.
part of it too. But yeah. I mean, they're like, I paid to see you fucking entertain. Like, I'm not the fucking do your fucking job. God damn.
You probably grew up in a time when Carlingwood Mall had a Sears and not the biggest Canadian tire in the world.
There's some local jokes for you.
Yeah, brothers, I'm from the Ottawa where Westboro wasn't a place you used to drink. It was
Can't. Oh yeah, you already said Canada.
To
Right.
used to go and die or raise kids. Like what like Ottawa, Ottawa, they say like Ottawa is the city that fun forgot. No, we know about fun. We don't have time. We're running a country. Do you think it's easy? Do you think it's easy making all those provinces get along? We put a lot of pressure on Quebec. The Maritimes are assholes too. Oh, come drink in the kitchen. No, we're not turning alcoholism into a poem. I'm from Ontario. We drink in our cars and then we drive home. That's why we have that little road next to the highway.
That's almost funny, but I feel like most of this is just like local jokes that I'm not getting.
Yeah, they'd hit harder if we were Canadian. So I'm trying
I think
to
everything
find
would hit
the
harder if you were
analogs.
Canadian, but
That's true.
Excellent.
also the size of the audience is throwing me. Like, there's like fucking 10 people there. Like I mean, I get that it's your 8th special in 10 months, but really, that's the most you could scrape together, I guess. All right.
Oh, my friend, you just prevented an edit and then I introduced it. Very good. I appreciate the energy and the laughter and that you guys are happy to see me, because that does not always happen when I walk on stage, because comedy is a fun thing filled with energy. And if you see my face, you don't think, oh, he looks fun. I don't look like I have jokes. I look like I have rules.
Accurate.
I look like I got a car and you're not allowed to eat food in it. I'm 38. I don't look 38. I don't look any age. I just look like you. Oh no, I just had a stroke. All right, for those of you on the right side of the room, the show will be fine. Those of you on the left side, some of the act outs will be diminished.
That's totally an improv bit there, right? Like,
I think so. Yeah, 'cause he just really did just. I'd say he pulled a Sean.
I do that
I've
shit all
heard
the
you
time.
make that exact noise, and I'm like, my God, are you having strokes, Sean?
My brain's not well, but that's I mean, that was a fantastic recovery. If that was just a random
planned,
bobble,
yeah.
but so far his recovery has been the best part.
Thank you. That is my nickname from a Christian camp that was just yelled out, possibly by a Christian, which is breaking the rules, which is a sin in this situation. I did work at a Christian camp. That was sort of my beginning of becoming an agnostic person, was working at a Christian camp, because I remember there was a guest speaker who came in and he said, I know God loves me. I have had 4 heart attacks and I have been hit by lightning twice. And I remember thinking that, being like, I don't think God likes you at all. I think God wants to hurt you, but also doesn't want to kill you, so then you'd be up there with him. They say don't do new material on your taping, and I say, I dare. Yeah, it's a weird look, you know what I mean?
That it wasn't great, but it certainly didn't feel like new material. So, I mean, at least he's got command of the stage, and he's very comfortable with who he is as a performer, which is working definitely in his favor. Like, again, for being his 8th special in 10 months, like, it doesn't feel like we're, scrounging for jokes here. I mean, this feels like a normal set from a normal comedian. Like, maybe his other ones were way better or way worse, but like, for, churning them out like that, it doesn't feel like it's fucking, factory processed or something.
No, I would agree. I was worried it was going to be like, this is just going to be the one that's just loose stories kind of thing, just to wrap up the the 8 special
Yeah,
arcs
just
here, but
talking about the tour the whole time. Like,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, no, I agree. They don't seem like they're brand new jokes or anything. I mean, yeah, they seem fairly well polished.
yeah. But then again, like I said, his recovery was the best part. So maybe he is just more of an improv guy than a writing comedian.
Yeah, he's definitely putting in the time at the gym, if you will. Like if he's pumping out that many specials, like
The gym
Put in
being
the work.
the fucking the stage.
the
Because
stage. Yes.
not that I'm to make fun of anyone as far as weight is concerned, but that gut does not scream gym to me.
Yeah, I feel bad. I'm using a Joe Rogan parlance there when calling the
yeah.
stage of the gym.
Yeah. Who are you?
With what my look is. If we're totally honest with what my look is, I look like white supremacy is cool with me. Thank you for laughing, black guy. Thank you for checking with your black friend before you laughed at that joke. There's no better energy in the world than a white man trying his best. And then a comment of race is made and he just looks around like a player looking for a referee. I'm going to need a call on this, coach. Is this all? I want to point out a couple of things. You two got ready for it from either side, from these two Dave Matthews fans. And this guy, as soon as I said black, you put your hand on her lap as a like, which way is this going to go? Don't worry, little lady. Me and this mustache will handle it.
Got in a good punch right as I was about to say something. No, that's a horrible frame to fucking stop. There we go. So yeah, I mean, it occurs to me that if his strength is improv, and it seems like he gravitates towards crowd work very easily, that could much more easily explain 8 specials in 10 months. If it's largely crowd work and largely improv jokes or just, free balling, like that is certainly a possible way that gets churned out, like,
Yeah, like without the crowd work, maybe it's just 4 specials in 10
Right.
months, which is still pretty prolific.
I mean, people were shocked when Dave Chappelle started doing a special a year, like,
Yeah.
there were, a few other comedians that like joined that bandwagon, but like, I think Carlin was probably one of the most prolific before that, but even he wasn't doing a special a year. He was, years between specials. Like,
yeah. Louis C.K. kept that pace for a while.
oh yeah.
Until controversy hit.
True. Yeah. Speaking of flashing.
I think I got him in fucking trouble because I fucking did. Yeah. And the 4 baby boomers are just going, why did they look at the black guy? Just
That was like a Robin Williams there.
Yeah.
The
a fucking joke. You know what I'm saying? You know what? I want to be like presenting like a fun, exciting person. I don't look fun. I look like a youth pastor who's gone rogue. I'm gonna commit. You know what it's like walking around the earth with resting bouncer face? You understand? Since
that feels like a rehash of the dad jokes he was telling before or whatever.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Like, it doesn't look that intimidating. I'm like, I don't know if he knows what he looks like, but yeah. I guess I'm bouncer vibes, but maybe Canadian bouncer.
I think I've just started to hate the looks like thing. I started watching some of the roast battles lately, and like 90% of it is you look like blah blah blah, you look like blah blah blah, and it's just like it's this weird thing that's kind of worked into my brain where I can't take too much of that. Like if a comedian comes up and you want to break the fucking the weirdness or the tension in the air about like you being kind of funny looking, one or two jokes about that, and pick some winners there. But like this just feels weird circling back to it, the same premise but with like different jokes about how you like. We got to be past that at this point. In 5 minutes in, we're done with that, and we're on to you know,
Yeah,
your
like we're
actual
already
material.
comfortable with however you look like. You
Right.
got us laughing, so like we're on board.
Yeah, yeah.
Selection, I just look like the problem. And that doesn't matter what side you're on. You just look at me and go, fuck him. Now, I am not a white supremacist. Oh, what a wonderful wet cough, reminding us COVID still out there.
Yeah, the crowd work in the improv, that's definitely a strength.
Yeah,
there.
it's really sharp. I love what a wonderful wet cough.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And with this face, you don't know what side I'm on with that issue. Both sides. By the way, when you look like a white supremacists will come up to you and they will start talking to you about white supremacy. And then they won't believe you when you say, no, I don't go in for that. And then they point at your skin like, what about that? So I was recently in a Starbucks. Sorry, Canada, that's right. Daddy's moved up in the world. No more Tim Hortons. I'm going to go to a Starbucks, which is somehow the same price. I don't even go to Starbucks for the coffee. I go for the breakfast sandwich.
Wait, Tim Hortons is the same price as Starbucks? I always assumed Tim
Yeah, I was
Hortons
a
was
little
like
confused
a
on that
Denny's.
too. Right? I've never
That's-
been, but
Okay, yeah.
is it classy? Oh man, I got to do some research.
Yeah, fuck. Definitely not going to Canada, but that's, you know, like
What a whimsical item of food that is. I perform comedy around the world. You look for consistency in your life. You want consistency, go to Starbucks. You order the breakfast sandwich, you watch them cook it in the oven, then they hand you a bag that's somehow wet. No water is involved. Here's a wet bag for your food. And then you bite into it, and it's somehow scalding hot and ice cold at the same time. It's like Howard Schultz, the CEO of Starbucks, was trying to figure out a way to stand out, and he went, I got it! No longer will our breakfast sandwiches taste good. They'll just give you the sensations of coming off of heroin. That's addictive. They'll get addicted to our stuff. We can't lose. Now, I was recently in line.
he definitely thought that one would hit harder.
Also, great pause right here. Anyway,
At a Starbucks, and someone cut in front of me in line. Now, I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I was bullied just enough as a youth that if you break social mores, I'm going to tell you in a level of aggression that is not warranted for the situation. Oh, if you're cycling on the sidewalk, I will stop you. Does this look like a path? Does this look like a path? And I look enough like a cop, sometimes I whisper into my collar so they think backup's coming. A new joke on the special. Ooh, he's daring.
yeah. Yeah, I like his like the intensity of his act out. I think it really helps sell it too. Like it's certainly like the confidence, but yeah, just the way his eyes like bug out, the voice volume and everything. Yeah, it definitely works for me for just like hitting some of those. I don't know. Well, act outs or call outs. Yeah. Like a humble brag that he's has to let people know that these are new.
in line in Starbucks, and a gentleman cut in line. Now, I'm not gonna let that stand. A normal person in here would tap them on the shoulder and go, just to let you know, there's a line, and then they'd probably do that silent thing of like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I may have been a bit too aggressive. I led with, hey! Which really, I've been talking softly for me. When I yelled, hey, did you all feel your faces just go, yeah, that's what you look like. You should be stood in a driveway shirtless saying that to a kid who was near your lawn but not on your lawn. Yeah, you get the fuck out. Holding us back the whole time with your positivity and laughter right when I say the joke. And I went, hey! To this gentleman. And I went, there's a line, and you're not in it. And then, I don't know why, I added a sweetheart. What is this, a hard-bitten HBO crime drama, and I just cracked the interrogation? And then who turned around? What I was expecting is, you know, a mid-loser. You guys. Has anyone ever said, both of you look like the two types of people that say they can do graphic design, but they can't? Now, just do me a favor so this looks good on TikTok. Just look at the camera and wave. I said fucking look at the camera and wave. Did you get that, Colin, or do we need to do it again? All right, good. You got it in one take. What are you guys, Marlon Brando, or a reference to an actor that existed in your lifetime? No, I was not greeted with.
I like it. Yeah, I wasn't sure in the beginning, but yeah, I pulled through. He just has sort of like, yeah, it has different strengths in terms of his style, or just like you said, it's his interaction with the crowd and how he leans into that to like springboard into his jokes. So I dig it. Right. Yeah, I think if I didn't tell you it was like an 8 of 8 thing, you wouldn't like necessarily like, hey, did he do 7 specials before this? Yeah. I just know. I know how it stretches out, and that's 7 before. Up next, I think a great name, another Canadian comedian. Just what happened when I looked for new specials. This is Mr. Henry Sir. I know, just like, yes, that is what I said. He is Canadian. Canadian? But yeah, this is Henry Sir with his special Mr. Sir.
Please give it up for Henry Sir!
That's not him.
Yes, keep it going for the other comedy scene tonight. Nash and Sean, everybody. Oh yeah, right on, bud. This is excellent. Thank you for this. It's great. Victoria's nice. Normally when I start a set, I get combative and I insult the city, but it's good town. What do you say? Lovely people. Are people from Victoria called Victorians? Too much. Don't like you as much. That is so pretentious. You coastal elites. I'm from Alberta. I know what you call people from Victoria. Sheep! That's what you call them. Soy boys and cucks. I think that's the technical term. This is what the show is, ladies. This is alpha male That's a Coors Light. I'm drinking this soy boy beer. I'm drinking the real deal, sir. I'm from Edmonton, which makes me Canadian. Yeah, thanks. Good, sure. Yeah, no, good.
Good observation.
I'm from Canada, from Edmonton, which makes me Canadian, but I live in New York, America, which makes me an immigrant, which is funny. Because I'm white. I am a dark white. I feel pretty good about that. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit of cinnamon and spice to my vanilla. I am trying to distance myself from translucent whiteness as much as humanly possible. I honestly. I think I have every right. Oftentimes, non-white people will ask me if I'm not white. Feels incredible every time. It really. I don't feel bad saying that whatsoever. What a feeling.
What?
A black dude recently asked me if I was Venezuelan. I was like, this means more to me than my wedding vows ever could have. Seriously. My liege. Thank you. Something I'm trying to do a better job of is getting over, just trying to be more socially conscious. Trying to do that in life. Get over.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. Right. Yeah. But no, I hear it in the voice now that you mention it. I'm like, oh yeah, that is why I'm getting some of this deja vu kind of thing or comfortability with them. Like it seems like someone I spent some time with. Yeah.
Worry about being vulnerable and that making you soft or woke or whatever. I don't care if this sounds woke at all. I feel a lot of white guilt as a Canadian immigrant living in America. How can you not? Oh my God. My wife and I had to do a group Zoom the consulate set up of new to the country immigrants from all over the world. We were hanging out there too, sharing stories. Tough to not feel that white guilt. It's obviously not every immigrant, but a lot of them were from war-torn countries. Ooh. They were refugees. We just moved because we felt like it. We wanted to. They fled. We were like, we're too comfortable. Let's push ourselves, sweetie. YOLO. I believe Aristotle said that, right? Everybody, the whole point of it was to share where you're from, your story, how you got to the States. It's a lot of tough acts to follow, I'll be honest. The dude before me was sharing a story. It's unbelievable. Power of the human spirit. It was emotional. People were literally crying. He's sharing his story how he had to get smuggled in a trunk with a militia chasing him just for a chance to get back to see his family. Everybody's crying. It's unbelievable. Then it's our turn. I'm like, I mean, we had to rent a U-Haul. That wasn't ideal. A little outside the budge I felt good with. I understand. Scary times. Yes. I stand shoulder to shoulder with you, brother.
It's so good. Exactly. The unnecessary slang. Oh, it's so good.
This brave new world. I think about the differences between Canada and the States a lot, because I'm born and raised Canada, but my dad's from Iowa. I've spent a lot of time in the heartland. I've lived on both coasts. I think I get Americans pretty well. Odd bunch. They really are. Doesn't it suck when stereotypes are true? That's brutal. You don't want them to be true, but oftentimes they are, especially with Americans. One of the stereotypes is they just say wild, crazy stuff out loud. That's really easily interpreted as dumb and stupid. You don't want it to be true, but it's true. Not long ago, I'm talking to an American, he found out I'm Canadian, and immediately he was like, whoa, were the Backstreet Boys popular? That's the first thing you wanted to know about a foreign country? Were the Backstreet Boys popular? Yes, they were popular. Have you ever heard I Want It That Way? It's a masterpiece, yes. Nick Carter with the golden bowl cut. You had AJ, you got Brian. The two other guys that were hanging out there too, they were, yeah.
Yeah, I feel that he's definitely a bit more, more like subdued with his performance, or like not really doing like act outs per se, or maybe a bit, but not like raising his voice like the previous comic with John Hastings. Yeah, I would say we would like categorize comedians like jeans. I think he'd be more in the relaxed fit category, where the others might be more of like just a bit more casual fit. Not baggy, but casual. It's not skinny jeans. Yep.
phenomenon. The world exists beyond you. You know, that's always the thing. It's always been that way. When I was 12, we lived in Minnesota for a year. I wish this was a joke, but it's not. The first interaction I had with kids my age, I had to introduce myself to the class, so I did, and they're just looking at me like astonished, dumbfounded. Just like... The first question I got asked by a kid my age, how do you speak English so good? What? How do I speak English so good? How do you speak it so poorly, you little freak? What are you talking about? You little inbred mongrel? I don't know, I picked it up because everyone spoke it. I'm not a linguist. I don't know, I wasn't speaking Swahili in Edmonton. And better hunker down and learn the Lord's language now that we're going to his homeland, you know? Learn American, it's a biblical dialogue, I believe, or dialect, I believe. Don't worry about it, guys. I'm a historian. We'll get into it later. We can always cut that from the album. It's no big deal. Editing's a hell of a thing. The next question was just as insane. Without skipping a beat, this kid's like, so what do you... Yeah, or at least have like a little quip to like get a chuckle or two, just enough to get your sip in, kind of thing. Pesos? No. No, we don't. We don't have pesos in Canada. What are you talking about? He's like, no, what do you have? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like coins, bills, like you. He's like, oh, so the face of the president on it. Nah, man. In Canada, we don't have pesos with the face of the president of America on our pesos. Like, show us some respect. We're Canada. We're a world-class nation. We are a world-class nation with a rich history and a strong tradition. Right? It would be insane if our money just had the face of some completely irrelevant figure from a different country on it. I almost envy how much Americans love America.
Mhm. It was definitely a thinker because it took me a second. I'm like, oh god, yeah, that's so good. Gotcha. Good God, did they love that land? That blessed land.
I feel in Canada we're pretty indifferent, even though there's like, again, as an Albertan, the narrative, it's never been worse. I think for the most part, we're lucky. It's fine, it's good. We have a good rapport, it's whatever. Not America, they love it. You see with the military a lot, you know, a Canadian guy will say served in the army, we're like, okay, done something for me lately, bud. Am I supposed to react a certain way? Ooh, Canadian Army, sweet. Not in the States. A guy will just be like, I mopped toilets at a base for a week, and everyone's like, thank you so much. Tearing up like me when I see a video of an orphan pig befriending ducks or something. It's getting so emotional. So emotional. He's talking about freedom. I'm a married guy. I love my wife very much. She's my favorite person in the world. I think I love her in a pretty authentic, pure, beautiful way. I don't think I love her even close to the way a dude from Oklahoma loves the Constitution. I really don't. What a document, huh? Jesus did write it himself 2,025 years ago, after all, so. And he created America. He said, let there be freedom, and America was born. An eagle soared across the sky, a guitar solo was heard in the distance. And there she was, the Constitution. JC's signature on it, 1776. I'm a history buff, I go on these rants, I apologize. It just gets me fired up. There's a funny difference in stereotypes I find between Canadians.
Or at least the face he makes before the transition. It's just like a micro, like, slip of the face where it's just like, where was I? And we're back.
Americans.
Right? Yeah. I mean, because when he does make the transition and gets into the jokes, like I'm digging his writing and his performance style. Very like laid back, but like smart and like sharp with his writing. I like it. Right. Yeah. But I'd say, it's just like still it comes off as like endearing to me at least. I agree with that. Oh man, it's really like a photo finish for me on this one because I like them all for just like different reasons, or it's just like different styles of music. Just to say like, well, I can't say one's objectively better than the other because like it just depends on the mood I'm in. But yeah, I would probably, I don't know. I'd still have to go with just because he's the total ringer. Is Dana Gould is like my favorite because I just he's a great comic. So I know I'll probably go back to that special. It's like one you could put on a road trip with either family or friends and feel like this will get just about everybody. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to go back with check out some of John Hastings' other specials leading up to his eighth, and then I really like Henry Sir. I would prescribe him 7 more specials. You know. I think that just happens to be the 10 minutes we watched. Like, I don't know that he's like known as a clean comic in the way like a Jim Gaffigan or Tom Papa would be, but yeah, he definitely drops in more swears and maybe a little more sexual innuendo, but oh yeah, that would be John Hastings. Yes. Yeah, and I think he is like newer-ish, especially to the US. And then because I didn't see as many of like the big name credits you'd see, so I would count him as a comedian to keep an eye on because coming to New York to continue working out his act, like he's only going to get better. Hopefully, yeah. So yeah, if any of these specials, interested you, that you can watch them in full on YouTube or on our website at standupteardown.com. We have all the comedians that we reviewed, all their full specials there for your viewing pleasure, and with transcripts, so you can also help tear down some of these bits as well. Yeah, where else can people find us, or how can people interact, Sean? Yes, bad reviews are still reviews, so we'll take it. All right, well, let's tear this down.
Sit down, it's time to read between the punchlines. Ooh. They set 'em up, we knock 'em down. Why heckle at the show when you can heckle from the comfort of your own home? It's the stand-up teardown, conducting comedy autopsies. The stand-up teardown now. Who will be killed? Bit by bit, beat by beat, set a punch, repeat. Ooh, they set 'em up, we knock 'em down. linebacker.